Homes come and go very quickly on the San Diego market, leaving buyers to wonder what they can get. Not to worry, our next guests are going to share with you how to get a bigger home.
The unknown is the biggest fear for people when they're buying and selling a home.
Can I buy and then sell? Do I need to sell and then buy? Can I do both at the same time? A lot of people just aren't aware that all three of those options are available.
Please welcome Santee real estate expert Daniel Buksa and sales manager for Mission Federal Credit Union, Dan Helt.
There they are.
Hey!
All right.
Thank you.
Dan and Dan, Daniel and Dan. Great to have you guys back on the show. Hot topic today, which is something that a lot of people are trying to figure out what to do with. You know, like you bought a house, you have equity now, or maybe the home values have gone up, or maybe it's just time. Maybe you bought 3, 4, 5 years ago when the market was depressed and you weren't even trying to time the market, you just got lucky. And now you've got all this equity and you want to move into a bigger house. Family's growing, you have different needs now than you had before. But a very scary proposition for people who have never bought and sold a home at the same time before, or people who maybe have, but it's been a decade or more since something like that has happened. So you guys are doing now with Mission Fed, you guys are doing these seminars to show people, and I know Daniel, you wanted to bring Dan on today specifically because you're one of the real estate partners of Mission Fed, to talk about how you're helping people go through this process.
Yeah, most definitely. Actually, we started building this product earlier in the year. I reached out to Daniel and said, hey, listen, we've seen a whole segment of our membership that have bought homes, and they're really kind of wondering what the next step is if they want to sell in the market. And I said, this is a great opportunity for us to educate and provide a service to our membership, which is always huge with Mission Fed. And so he, of course, was 100% on board. That's what I love working about with Daniel, is that he is always ready to educate and serve the folks that he works with. And we wanted to give him an opportunity to learn something about what is the challenges you're going to face when you're selling a home and moving up to your next home in San Diego.
So what are some of those things, Daniel? Let's talk about it, because I mean, I know a lot of people who have equity now and then they feel like they're in a catch-22 a little bit. They say, you know, I have equity, but prices are up. I want to move up, but prices are up there as well. So I feel like I'm not getting as much for my equity, or, you know, a lot of people thinking a lot of different things. How would you educate somebody who's timed the market right, has that equity, and it's time for them to move up?
I think you really hit it on the head. The unknown is the biggest fear for people when they're buying and selling a home. Really just educating them on the process as far as how do the numbers break down on selling a home, as well as the financing and programs available for them on the buy side. So that's one of the big reasons I like partnering with Mission Federal Credit Union, is that their members trust them because they're doing what's right for their members. And I feel people, when they're looking at buying and selling and doing such a big transaction, they want to work with people that they trust and that they know are going to treat them like family. So that's why I partner with Mission Federal Credit Union, and that's why I'm so excited to do this Move Up seminar with them, because who else would you want to partner with?
Yeah, and moving up is something that, especially for someone who's just bought a home and has never bought and sold a home at the same time,
Yeah.
there are a lot of more moving parts. I mean, you got twice as many moving parts now,
Sure.
As you did when you were just buying this home for the first time. So I think trust is important for people to have, but also trust in what? The process. And that's, I imagine, what you're going to talk about in the seminars. Can you give us a little window into what is going to be discussed, a little teaser for what people are going to learn?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So what the seminar is, it's actually more of a hands-on workshop where we are going to give people an idea of what they can sell their home for and how they can leverage that equity into their new home purchase. And instead of having them come and show up and us lecture to them for an hour, we're actually going to provide them real estate professionals, from a realtor like Daniel Buksa to having somebody that can talk to them about taxes, somebody that can talk to them about making home improvements, and give them all the resources they need to help them get over that fear and make the decision about what do I need to do and how does it look, right? What do I need to do? Can I buy and then sell? Do I need to sell and then buy? Can I do both at the same time? A lot of people just aren't aware that all three of those options are available.
Very, very good point. Yeah, and they are very different processes, completely. So
Yeah.
you really need to know which one you're getting into and which one you qualify for. Because
Right.
you may not be able to buy and then sell if you don't properly qualify for both mortgages, right? On the lending side.
Yeah.
So that's a key one. I'm going to also kind of give people a little idea on the math and how it works, because I think people get stuck thinking, well, you know, my house went up in value, but so are all the houses up here. And so I feel like I'm not getting anything from my equity. You are getting something for your equity. You're getting cold hard cash for your equity, okay? Especially if you've been in your house for 2 years or more, and you've lived there the whole time. You're getting capital gains free money. that you can use towards the down payment on your next house. So for example, you buy a house for $400,000, it goes up to $500,000, I'm using simple math. You bought it FHA, you put very little money down, you have mortgage insurance that whole time. Now you have $100,000 that you can put down on a $1 million house if you want 10% down.
Sure.
So you're going to pay less of a percentage in mortgage insurance there on a bigger loan amount, but you'll have more leverage on that buy side now to be able to put that big down payment. Maybe you've got enough to even put 20% down on, enough equity to put 20% down on the new purchase, even though you're buying a bigger home and have no mortgage insurance.
Right.
So there's things that you can do, and that's I think what you meant when you say leverage the equity.
Yeah.
Take the equity, leverage it to help you get into a better financial circumstance on the mortgage side, which although you may be buying a bigger place and your payment may be going up, more of that payment may be meat and less of it may be mortgage insurance.
You're attacking the principal and the interest on the payment instead of mortgage insurance. So definitely. A lot of times the payment is very similar when you're moving up.
Yeah. Isn't that weird how that works out?
Yeah.
But I think people get stuck with the sticker price. They're just looking at the values of the home and you forget how to leverage your equity. So that's where the financing really comes in. And I think you'll be able to do a good job of showing that to people in these seminars, that this is something that you can use this to your advantage now. It's not an even trade.
Exactly. We actually provide them with a personalized package that breaks down what they can sell the home for and then what they could qualify to buy, so they know exactly what price range they're shopping in. And then they have payments they can compare to what was I paying then and what am I going to be paying now, and they can see the similarity. And then it takes, like Daniel said, some of the fear of making that decision out, and we just want to provide that through education.
Very cool.
I think you made a really good point. It's like everyone's scenario is a little bit different too, and that's one of the great things about doing a workshop is everyone's going to have a different story and a different situation. Maybe someone needs to renovate a kitchen or a bathroom to sell their home for top dollar. What does that process look like? Some people might have $200,000, $300,000 of equity, and how does that affect the buy side? Are they going to pay off some debts that have been weighing them down over the years, as well as put a down payment down? So I think a workshop's really good where you can kind of tailor it to each individual and do what's best for them, not just a set program for everyone.
And when, Daniel, on the real estate side, when we're in a market like we're in right now and someone does have equity and inventory is very low. Right. And it may seem, and may be true, that selling the home will be an easier process than buying the home. I don't know, I use the word easy very loosely. But let's say that the buy side is more of the challenging aspect. Sure. And perhaps people who have even looked online or maybe even done a little kicking around have found that to be the case. How would you put them at ease with just the idea, the concept of going in this direction in this market?
It's a great question. So I would say one of the things that I notice is typically certain price ranges you're going to have a lot more demand. For me, when I'm selling in that $400,000 to $500,000 range, homes are flying like hotcakes, but when people are buying in $700,000, $800,000 price ranges, it's a different demographic, and it's easier for buyers to buy those homes. So people who are doing move up, I think this is a great opportunity because you're getting the better end of both sides, where your home's selling like a hotcake, and you have more leverage on your buy side as well as low interest rates. Yeah. I think it's a perfect storm for being able to help people buy and sell homes and really accomplish those dreams. So that's what we like to do, is kind of break it down, educate people, and make their dreams come true.
Really good point. Yeah, the higher you move up in the price scale, the less competition that there is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you are a move up buyer, chances are you're going to have a lot of activity on your sell side and a lot less competition on your buy side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes perfect sense. I didn't even think about that, but it's true. Yeah, especially that, if you're looking in that $700,000-$800,000 range, you'll have a lot to choose from. Right. You have a lot of options.
Yeah. Just selling a lot of homes, I see that personally, where the $700,000-$800,000 homes take longer to sell. There's longer days on market. So I really think it puts those clients in a really good position.
Obviously, Mission Fed, Daniel, you guys are doing a lot of things for them, not just mortgages. You guys are providing a tremendous amount of service to your members. Yeah. But this happens to just be that one big thing, for everybody. This is that really important one big thing where the proper guidance can make a big difference for people. So you want to extend out to the members the opportunity to give them some great guidance on a really big decision that they're making here.
Yeah, I mean, buying a home is usually the biggest transaction that folks are going to make from a financial standpoint, and then when you're selling and buying, it can seem a little bit overwhelming. And we just want to give them as much education as we can. And like you had mentioned, with rates being as low as they are right now, it's still a great time to buy a home.
Yeah, absolutely. They can definitely leverage their equity and leverage the low interest rates, and of course, leverage their relationship and membership with Mission Fed.
Yeah.
Perfect stuff. Thank you guys so much for coming today. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
your
Awesome.
time.
Thank
Great
you
time.
for having us.
Appreciate it, Derek.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.